Welcome to Recently Logged, where today is the only day you can look directly into the sun. But don't actually look at the sun, especially if you're driving.
We do not endorse staring at the largest star in our solar system.
It's very bad.
Is that
for
what
you.
you're saying, Mike?
Yes.
I don't know. They endorse it in Luca. So maybe it's good. If it's good enough, if it's good enough for Luca, it's good enough.
If you really want to, just don't stare at it. Like, even in Luca, he looks at it for 0.2 seconds and then is like, my retina.
My retina.
Because staring at the sun can cause permanent eye damage.
Well,
so don't do it.
Micah, this week on Recently Logged, we're covering a movie that was made for the kids who stare at the sun.
It's true. It was made directly for those kids.
For the one kid on the playground who wouldn't stop looking at the sun.
Exactly.
And now they need insane LASIK surgery.
So yeah, today we're talking about sunshine.
Sunshine.
Lollipops and rainbows. Not that sunshine.
That's a great song. just for the record, I'm gonna go on record saying that.
This is the rated R sunshine.
Whoa! Isn't there like a '90s Sunshine too?
I don't know.
Like 99
I'm
or
sure
something.
There are other movies called Sunshine.
I think that was the only other movie I found that was called
1999 Sunshine. In a time of revolution and a family torn by tradition, one man was consumed by love.
Nice. You are my sunshine. My only sunshine.
Yeah, that's not the one we're talking about. That has Voldemort in it, though.
Whoa, nice. We're talking about the Danny Boyle, Alex Garland 2007 Sunshine, baby.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, we'll show you that it's good stuff.
All right, do we want to get into the facts of life?
No, I want to get into the facts of this movie. Not the facts of life, Micah. It's too depressing.
All right, Sunshine is a 2007 rated R 1 hour 47-minute movie.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
The little IMDb description is: a team of international astronauts are sent on a dangerous mission to reunite the dying sun with a nuclear fission bomb in 2057.
I didn't even realize that it was an international crew. I guess it makes sense. Like, it didn't even occur to me where they were from on Earth.
And the pictures of the crew, they're holding their flags.
Yeah. It just didn't occur to me, Micah. I'm not very observant, apparently.
The cast consists of Cillian Murphy, Rose Byrne, Chris Evans, Cliff Curtis.
Heck yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, I think is how you say.
Heck yeah.
Hiroyuki Sanada. But his name's Kanata in the movie. That's weird.
Nice.
Benedict Wong.
Heck yeah.
Troy
Garrity?
I guess. I don't know. And Mark Strong.
Ooh. Mark Strong. And Mark Strong.
It's directed by Danny Boyle.
Heck yeah.
And written by Alex Garland.
Well, I guess it's fitting, Micah, because that sun sure is boilingly hot.
Yeah.
I can't think of a Garland pun, but, I'm sure there's something there.
I don't remember where they moved awards to. I was going to see if it was the awards.
Shoot. New IMDb layout.
The new
You found it? Okay.
Oh, it was just a Saturn award. Oh, wait, no, that's nominee. It won a British Independent Film Award for Best Technical Achievement.
Wow.
Wow. Good job, Sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense with the other movies that came out in 2007 that Sunshine was not up there.
I mean, and Micah, remember back in 2007, its critical reception, and even now still, is pretty mid. Like, most people think it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but
to an extent.
But also for our listeners out there, let me tell you some of the 2007 movies. We got Ratatouille, No Country for Old Men, Zodiac, There Will Be Blood, Superbad, Juno, Hot Fuzz, The Darjeeling Limited,
Death Proof,
Spider-Man 3. The
B
Simpsons movie.
The Simpsons.
This is by popularity on Letterboxd.
High School Musical 2, baby.
Not by rating.
Yo, one of my friends the other day said that High School Musical 2 was literally the worst one. And I'm like,
the wrong take.
What?
It's literally the best one, and I will hear literally no different.
I almost unfollowed them, Micah. I was this close.
You should have.
I was
That's
like,
terrible.
dude, High School Musical 2 is easily the best of the trilogy.
Dude,
easily.
Alvin and the Chipmunks came out in
The
2007.
OG one?
The original live action.
Nice. Hey, Surf's Up, too.
National Treasure Book of Secrets came out
Okay,
in
we need to move on. No one cares about this. All right, let's get into what we actually thought of Sunshine. Here we go.
So, Rabbi, what are your opening thoughts on Sunshine?
Well, if I had to open my thoughts on Sunshine, I'd probably open them with saying that I really adore Sunshine. We watched it for the first time roughly a little over a week ago, I think.
Yeah, it was. I think wasn't it right before we left.
Yeah, right before we
time?
left for out of town the second time. We've been out of town a lot recently.
The 24th.
24th. Okay. Yeah, we watched it for the first time then. I absolutely adored it. I think it was a brilliantly written, well directed, very well acted, and very expertly crafted movie. And I loved it. I said in my review the first time that it felt like it was made for me, and I'll stand by that.
And then he dropped his rating.
Okay. And then we watched it a second time, and some of the problems that I have with the third act, which that's the main point people criticize in this movie, because it's pretty universally agreed upon that the first two acts of this movie are like insanely good. They do an excellent job of constantly keeping you invested by somehow one-upping the stakes every like 10 minutes or so. You're like, how could it get any worse? And then it gets worse. But yeah, it usually gets panned right around the third act, but I actually think it works pretty well thematically with the rest of the movie and is a pretty natural conclusion for the first two. Which is kind of an unpopular opinion, Micah.
It's so weird.
But it's actually unpopular.
It's
yeah, I don't know. I adore this movie. I'll watch it to the end of my days, you know.
yeah.
Cillian Murphy is a hero.
Cillian Murphy is a hero.
He's my hero. He's somehow hotter than the sun in this movie. Just go on record to say that.
Isn't he always?
Wow. But yeah, that's basically what I think about Sunshine. I just really love it.
Yeah.
What do you think about
All
Sunshine?
right,
Were you waiting for me to ask that?
I was actually.
Okay.
Man, I still don't understand people with this movie. Like, every review that I've seen for this movie that doesn't like this movie is like, that darn third act.
That darn third act.
It sure is different. And I'm like, what?
It's so dissonant from the first.
I disagree so much with that. First watch, I really loved this movie. It looks freaking beautiful. The score is really good. The acting is outstanding. I think it's honestly the best Chris Evans performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, the cast is stacked.
It really is.
And it's honestly one of my favorite sci-fi films now.
Yep.
And as for that third act, I thought it was so like well transitioned thematically from the very first shot to the time that they get to murder Sunshine Man. I thought it transitioned so well. The only problem I have with the third act, and really one of the only problems I have with the whole movie, is that the pacing is a bit weird in the third act.
It is a bit weird, and that is true.
I don't think it's thematically incoherent. I don't think it's like stylistically incoherent.
No.
I don't think any of like.
I think I would describe it more as an elevation of the first two acts. Like it gets more manic. It gets a lot more. It gets a lot deeper, and it's
progressively been doing that from the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's very weird that so many people are like, oh, the third act. Like, every review you go to, it really bothers me.
I was so surprised, too, because I didn't know anything about this movie the first time we watched it, and I was like, yo, this is actually, like, amazing. What? And then we got to the third act, I'm like, okay, that was a little, like, obviously it was a little shakier. It was obviously, like, in my opinion, the shakiest part of the screenplay, and one of the like more poorly paced sections of the movie. But I really loved it still. And then I flipped over to Letterboxd and started looking at some of the reviews. I'm like, wait, people don't like this? Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, very good.
Yes.
I really, really love it visually. I really, really love the editing and the direction and the writing and the cast.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll move on to the meat of the podcast, Micah. Now that we've gotten our initial thoughts out of the way. No, we're not going to Arby's. I'm
gonna make that joke every time since you switched it to calling it the meat Rabbi.
Well, it's much better than like main discussion or whatever I used to have it as. So, Micah.
Oh, it started. You have zoomed so far out.
Oh my
I didn't think we were going.
Okay. So Micah, what
wow, that was good.
Wow. Do you have a question that you want to ask?
I do actually. What is your favorite scene or sequence? And I actually have an answer to this one.
Oh, okay. What is my favorite scene or sequence? I like a lot of scenes in this movie, but I would probably go with I was gonna say the final scene because it is really great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the final scene. Why not?
My favorite scene is actually
transcendent. My
favorite scene is actually the Pinbacker introduction scene.
Ooh,
I really, really like that scene.
That is a really great scene.
And like,
actually.
I don't know, everything about the way they do Pinbacker's character in this movie, I really like.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
I don't understand why people are like, he's out of place.
What is Freddy Cougar Man doing in this movie?
But no, like I really, really love that scene that he's introduced in. It's my favorite visual scene in the movie, and I think the dialogue is really well written, and it really gets you into the characters and everything. Outside of that, like anything with Mason.
Wow.
He's just such a fun character.
Fair enough. I'll take that. I don't know. I just really love the ending.
No, the ending is great. Don't get me wrong. I love that final like bit there.
Oh, to see this in a theater.
Right? That's what I'm saying, man. We need to get a theater. This needs to happen. A theater.
The recently logged picture box
where people collectively vote on like an old movie to watch, just any kind of movie.
Do you realize the legal loopholes they'd have to, the legal gymnastics that they would have to do to play just a movie?
I don't care. I wanna watch movies that I didn't get to watch in theater.
I know, right? Imagine seeing La La Land in a theater. That would have rocked. What's so frustrating about that is because I literally could have gone and seen it in the theater.
I watched it for the first time on my phone in a bed at midnight.
Micah, no. Well, anyway, Sunshine.
Yeah, do you have a question, Ruby? Since that was my question.
What do you think of how Sunshine deals with a lot of the... What's the point of going on with humanity if we're about to die, you know? Like, because that's kind of the central kernel of this movie that all the characters stem from, is their different viewpoints on that. So how do you think it's handled in this? And that's the whole Pinbacker thing, too.
Yeah.
He's just consumed by nihilism, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting, but I really like how they kind of break it down. Like you said, almost every crew member has a different view on it. And
Exactly.
I think that was a really smart decision to where, like, your crew members are always at odds at what counts as saving humanity.
Exactly, yeah. I just thought it was interesting to note, because the one essay I read... this is like the most prepared I've ever been for recently locked down.
This one essay I read.
But a guy on Letterboxd called Screening Notes wrote a wonderful little essay about why the third act of this does work thematically, in his opinion anyway. And it's all about how Pinbacker is essentially the theistic... Wait, what is it? I don't think that's the word. But whatever. Like, his viewpoint is essentially the opposite of the main character.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the entire third act feel coherent to me anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, as you go through each character to even more of an extent of that, each character that kind of dies off throughout the movie all have their collective views about it, and it kind of gets more and more to the kind of antithesis of Pinbacker's views as more and more crew members die off.
Exactly. Which is, I think, part of the reason why the character work in this is so interesting to me, because I saw one of the people I follow on Letterboxd, Taylor J. Williams, you probably heard of him, said that the worst aspect of this movie was its character writing, and I just don't agree with that.
Yeah,
really.
That kind of is actually very interesting, because I thought all of the characters were really well put together.
Exactly. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting to bring up, because it's one of my favorite aspects of the movie.
Yeah, that's the tie throughout the movie thematically that makes it a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why your sunshine obsessed characters die off first.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting how understated, because you get a lot about like Cyril being obsessed with the sun, but like you get your introduction to the captain is him like basking way brighter for longer than it looked like Cyril ever was.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought that was strange the first time I watched it. I was like, huh, that's weird, right? And then I was like, oh, I see.
But yeah, there's the difference in views, and I think it really builds up nice, killing off the two kind of sunshine god believers.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, no. It's interesting.
And kind of building back up to having a sunshine god believer be the main and like the big final thing, I think was a really smart decision. But
yeah, I think the Pinbacker thing works really well too, because like imagine failing the Icarus mission. What would that drive you to? And it's literally the nihilism that you see.
Not only failing the Icarus mission, but then soaking in like direct sun for 6 years.
I was about to say, I think I would kind of go off the rails too. But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up, because it's an aspect of the movie I really admire and how it's handled.
No, I really like how that's done. What do you think of the overall pacing of the movie? Like how it paces out, how things get worse, and how it just paces out the scenes in the movie in general?
You know, oddly enough, on the second time around, I almost thought it was going too fast at points. Like I almost wanted it to like slow down and be a little more meditative, but I don't know if that's just my personal preference.
No, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Because see, a lot of the things that I have a problem with pacing is, in theory, they have a really like contemplative story here, and I just wanted more like sun meditation scenes.
Micah just wants them to sit around staring at the sun a little more.
I do. And like that comes down to what I was saying about the pacing in the third act being my least favorite. And you mentioned this even while we were watching it.
Yeah.
When Pinbacker is going around stabbing people, it just kind of seems like their characters aren't really getting much finish.
Yeah, they're not getting resolved.
I think it really only feels that way, especially for Oxygen Lady.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Because like she's like, oh look, a plant, and then dies.
her one defining trait. let me save the plants. and then she dies.
And there's like nothing there to her character. I feel like there was no character arc for her character in general.
There was nothing. That I would honestly cite her as the most nothing character in this movie.
Yeah,
because she doesn't.
Whereas almost every other character grows throughout the movie.
Exactly,
she's just like my plan.
I was about to say the other characters like get their viewpoints challenged. They are involved in the plot. Really, all the plant lady does is just like, we need oxygen. Everyone's like, yes, we do.
Yes, we do need oxygen.
And then she can't get oxygen, and that's it. That's her character.
Yeah, and then she just kind of dies. See, whereas I really like Chris Evans' death scene.
Oh my gosh.
And like that whole thing, because Mace, I think, is one of the best written characters in the movie.
I was so glad that the like jerk character wasn't just being a jerk to be a jerk,
right?
You know?
Like I think I mean, it's not the first movie that's done this by any means, but I always love when they do it, especially in a setting like this. where it is very life or death, having a character who's kind of a big jerk, but also right the entire time.
Exactly, yeah. It's like he's being a jerk, but at least he's justified in being a jerk.
He, like, the whole thing is, if they would have, I mean, it's not 100% obviously, because again, they don't know if the bomb would have gone off just due to whatever crazy circumstances, but technically speaking, if they would have listened to him, the entire crew might have made it there and back.
Exactly, yeah. I'm surprised you're not like upset with this movie, because it kind of seems like a plot point where you'd be like, dude, if they literally just would have just continued with the mission, it would have gone perfectly fine.
I don't know, but I think something like that would bother me, but the thematic cohesion of the movie is what kind of brings it together.
No, I was about to say the questions that it offers up and like the ideas that it offers up in the first act really do lead to like diverting the mission.
Yeah, with Cyril, Mace, and I don't remember Cillian Murphy's character. Kappa,
yes.
Those three characters, like, I love their stuff in the beginning because they're almost always opposing each other's ideas. Mm-hmm. And, like, that big major decision of, do we go away and go try and see what the Icarus One is up to? Like, I love that scene where they're all, like, talking about it and everything and arguing over it. Like, it's good stuff. It's what makes me like that plot point of going to the Icarus One.
Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant.
Whereas they really could have just carried on with the mission. It'd been probably fine.
Exactly.
There probably wouldn't have been anything big happening. I mean, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Bro, this whole movie, it's just like, let's drop a bomb in the sun. What could go wrong?
Okay, what do you think of the argument of, like, specifically, I mean, I've heard a couple people say it, but specifically of our mom, that, like, the third act feels so scientifically out of whack from the rest of the movie.
Really?
That's what she said. That was one of her biggest complaints, was that it makes no sense scientifically that, like, Pinbacker could be sitting in the sun for 6 years, or that Cillian Murphy doesn't burn up in the final scene. But I feel like that kind of destroys the entire point of the final scene.
I mean, like, but it's a sci-fi movie. Nothing is the science of the sunscreen thing, like the dimmer isn't.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's purely theoretical, so we don't know how it would affect someone. Like, what if he was standing at the back of the room or something for 6 years?
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Is like, at the end of the day, this is a sci-fi, and you're jumping off at a base point of technology that we are nowhere even near having.
I was about to say.
Get things close. I don't even think we can get things to Mercury at all.
Oh, not even close, dude. We don't have metals that can survive that heat. Are you kidding me?
We cannot get things close to the sun. They fly into the sun on their ship.
They literally fly into the sun and are not immediately incinerated.
So, like, I feel like that's an interesting jumping off point, but I feel like for the argument of, like, Pinbacker and the final scene, I feel like is the kind of thing that makes me wish the movie would have slowed down some, because I think the movie kind of recognizes the sun as a god in the movie.
Well, that's why, Micah, I lowered it a half star the second time. I'm like, there really is a potential here for it to be like something much better, but we still got something that was really, really great.
Yeah, I don't know. So, like, at the end of the movie, essentially, Cillian Murphy is confronting the most powerful thing in the known galaxy.
Exactly.
And he's staring at it in awe and wonder.
I was about to say, when Tarantino talked about this movie, yes, I listened to his comment that he did about this. He was very upset with the third act. He was like, I'm honestly surprised that there aren't more sci-fi films centered around the sun. It's like the most powerful thing in our known galaxy, and like no one's making movies about it. But yeah, just side note.
I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe if they would have slowed down with it, maybe people wouldn't have had as many problems. But, like, I really don't get not understanding, like, the thematic reasonings for them to not, immediately get toaster strudeled.
I was about to say, imagine how underwhelming of an ending it would be for just everyone to just like
like Cillian Murphy sets off the bob, he looks at the little sparky sparks, and then he's just
gone, bro. Wasted.
Yeah, I don't get that, but
yeah, I don't know. I just see that's a fundamental, like, I don't appreciate critiquing stuff based off of, oh, it's not scientifically accurate unless the movie has explicitly set up that could not happen in the universe. It should be allowed to.
Yeah, unless your universe is like, hey, this can't happen because of these reasons.
Because for reasons.
And then it's just like, nah.
Now we'll do it anyway. That upsets me. Like, when it breaks its own internal logic a lot and doesn't just, like, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird line to cross. Like, a weird line to walk, I should say, not cross.
Yeah, especially in the realm of sci-fi, because there are a lot of people who get, like, really upset with, like, Marvel and Star Wars and various things like this just for doing stuff that technically isn't breaking in-universe logic, and I'm like,
bro, who cares?
What does this mean? What?
Who is this for? Who benefits from this? Yeah, I don't know. Just a general movie philosophy I have when it comes to critiquing movies, which is not my forte in any way. I just think that as long as the movie isn't grossly breaking a previously established thing that it established, and not like just science in our world has established,
yeah, exactly.
I'm honestly fine with whatever.
Because exactly, from point A, this movie could not happen in today, exactly. And we have no idea how it could ever happen, ever.
Because the sun's so freaking hot, bro.
And, like, the sun is dying in their universe.
Yeah, really.
And they still, like, would get toaster strudeled if it wasn't for, like, advanced sci-fi technology that doesn't make sense in our current world.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting critique of movies in general. I'm just not a fan of it. You can explore it, sure, if it's interesting to you, if you like science and stuff like that, and you want an avenue to explore it through, go for it. But I just think it's a poor criticism of actual, like, filmmaking and stuff and screenwriting.
I don't know, like, I really like science, but watching the Mythbusters of why they couldn't actually swing across the thing in Star Wars isn't gonna make me like dislike Star Wars anymore.
completely improbable. Bad movie, 0 of 10. This would never happen.
Like, there's a difference between plot armor and something just happening in a movie, because that's how it was written.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird criticism, especially of sci-fi films, which are so inherently, like, it's literally science fiction, like, science, but with fiction.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have another question though?
No, but I might be able to think of one.
Oh boy. This is my co-host, guys. I have to come up with like 90% of the questions on the show.
Doesn't this have 2 Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon cast members in it?
I know it at least has 1.
I don't remember.
I don't think. Benedict Wong's not in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. No. But I don't think.
The captain, was he? Am I thinking of the wrong guy here?
I was about to say, he was in The Last Samurai, which I had just seen before this.
Yeah, that's probably why. I was like, he looked so familiar, though.
Yeah, he was.
That's probably
He's in The Last Samurai. He's in Endgame. He's the one guy that, like... Hawkeye kills.
Yeah. I was about to say, why do I recognize him? But that's
He's in Speed Racer.
That's why. That's probably why. I was like, I remember his face, though. Why? Okay, well, never mind.
Go watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden
Dragon. Yeah, go watch
Dragon.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon if you're old enough to watch Crouching Tiger,
Fantastic movie.
It is a fantastic movie. We should do it on the podcast sometime.
We should do it on the podcast sometime. That's a very good thing. But there was no question.
Okay,
Robbie.
Well, I asked a question about the cast. It wasn't a question for discussion. It was a question for my own curiosity. I don't know. What do you think of the Icarus ship? What do you think of it? Do you like it?
I think it's a pretty cool ship design. I like how much stakes are put into the shield itself. Like, the sun shield is the only thing keeping them alive, and I like that they play around with stakes of the sun shield, like, wasn't adjusted correctly, so now they're about to die.
I was about to say, the reason I brought up the Icarus is because it does such a good job in its design in immediately establishing what would kill it,
Yeah.
Like, and it immediately, the movie immediately sets up how, like, overpowering the sun is, and then immediately shows the Icarus, and it visually conveys everything that you need to know to set up the stakes of the movie.
Yeah, the opening shots are some of my favorite in this movie. You start on what looks like the sun, but it turns out to be the Icarus reflecting the sun, just that bright.
Exactly.
And then you cut to Cyril staring at the sun, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, man. No, I was just admiring how well this movie sets up its stakes. So efficiently.
And I feel like that scene with Cyril staring at the sun right after those two shots perfectly sets up the start of the themes that lead to Pinbacker. But I don't know.
I genuinely don't get why people don't like this.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand this film. I'm ignorant. And just like shiny movie.
Movie go burr.
Movie go burr.
Movie go burr. Is that what you just said?
I don't know. If you like lens flare everything and put distortion on stuff with the sun and silhouettes, I'm gonna give it 5 stars.
5-star time. What if imagine if J.J. Abrams had directed
it would be trash. I don't care.
You think it would be really bad?
This is from hit director of Slumdog Millionaire. So.
Didn't he do Trainspotting too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Yesterday.
Oof. Yikes. Well,
but it is written by the man, the myth, the legend who wrote Ex Machina and Annihilation,
which I very much want to see both of those.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I know some people who kind of said this, like I've heard some people talk about this as kind of a humanity sci-fi trilogy if you throw those 3 movies together. Though I think. Didn't Alex Garland direct Ex Machina and
yes, he directed
Annihilation
both of those,
as well?
Yes.
Yeah, Sunshine he did not, but he did that before he started directing.
I was about to say before he was directing stuff. So I don't know. I think it would make a cool trilogy. I haven't seen the other 2, but from what I have seen of Ex Machina and Annihilation, it looks like it would make a cool trilogy.
Yeah. Talking about humanity.
I
mean, that's kind of what sci-fi was made for.
Yeah, it really is.
and that's another reason I really like this movie is it's very, very much a sci-fi, like a true blue sci-fi.
I didn't like Interstellar because it's scientifically improbable.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he just get ripped apart when he goes in the black hole?
There's actually no good reason. Plot armor, guys. Plot armor.
Come on, guys. Christopher Nolan's pulling the wool over your eyes yet again.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of another good question during all of this.
I don't know. We've really covered all of the, like, a lot of the main talking points I wanted to hit. But it's like we always say when we do like what we consider to be a really good movie on the podcast. It's just kind of bring up something. It's really good. Yeah, move on.
I mean, this one kind of has a little bit more discussion room just because this is a more disliked movie.
Yeah,
which is kind of blows my mind.
I don't know.
Like, I guess I get people maybe finding it. Like, I don't know. Like, it does teeter on the edge of just not taking its time enough to be really bad. Like, I think it probably should have been like an over 2-hour movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot this was under 2 hours. That's weird.
And yet it's cutting itself down to an hour and 47.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a director's cut out there somewhere. I'll watch that.
Micah wants the Boyle cut.
The Boyle
Sunshine.
I don't know. Maybe this was his cut. I don't know.
Who knows?
But like, I don't know. Like I said, it's just teetering on the edge of not taking enough time with its themes to just be whack stuff happening.
Yeah.
But I think it does take just enough time to really capture everything that I think it needs at a base level for the story to work.
Yeah.
I do agree with Robbie that I do think it could be a little bit better, but I just really love it.
Yeah, no, that's why I gave it 5 on an initial watch. I was like, oh man, I adore this. And then the problem stood out to me a little more on the second watch. I'm like, you know what? I can admit that it has some problems. I'm going to lower it to a 9, but I still adore it.
I do actually have one more question that I thought of. What do you think of the deaths of Harvey and Trey's characters? Like the kind of midsection Cyril, Harvey, Trey.
I was like, Harvey. Who's Harvey?
Harvey. Has anybody here seen Harvey? Do you know Harvey?
Wow. I don't remember who Trey is, though.
Trey is...
Is he the captain?
No, he's the guy who messed up the shields.
Oh,
Benedict
Trey.
Wong.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I have the worst time remembering characters' names. Okay, we got Harvey.
Harvey is weird communications man.
Comms officer.
I don't know why he was second in command.
Benedict Wong, Trey. Yes. Okay, what do I think of their deaths? I really like Harvey's death, personally.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I just think it's interesting because of the way his character kind of breaks down. I just don't understand why he was second in command.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't make much sense. But then again, their psych officer wasn't exactly
that's the
doing
thing. That's the
greatest.
thing. And that's the thing I think this movie could have done with more time. It could have shown their crew kind of breaking down, because their crew really does kind of break down mentally. It's just kind of not as focused on.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I said, their psych officer spent 90% of his time staring at the sun bright enough that it burnt his skin off.
Yeah. As for Trey, I do wish they would have, like I said, I just wish it would have taken its time a little more and just, I don't know, giving Trey more time to actually, like, be a person.
Yeah, I think Trey's death as done for shock factor, I feel ish as it's done.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have been a big thematic thing, and they almost get it in a good thematic way.
Yeah.
But I feel like you said, they spend very little time on him. Mm-hmm. He's there in the background.
Yeah,
he makes his mistake. He gets put under, and then
that's it.
That's pretty much it for him, which made me kind of sad because I do like Benedict Wong.
Yeah, I was about to say I really like him. I don't
know. But I do think it's a good. I think his death is probably the best instance of setting something up for Mace and Kappa to truly be opposed on.
Yeah,
it's the big build up of Mace being like, "This is all on you for sending us away."
Yeah, I was about to say no. It's a good plot catalyst, but I'm not sure it works as well with his character. Like like I said, I do agree that there are a lot of problems with the character work, but I just wish it would have dedicated more time to some of the more minor ones.
I think really,
because the main trio are great.
Honestly, the biggest thing you could have done to fix 90% of the problems people have with this movie is just make it longer.
just longer, Micah. Is that all you want?
Well,
have them extend the credits.
Obviously, you need to write that better, but like it needs to take more time with so much stuff to really be like the best of the best.
Exactly. Yeah, I just wanted to dig in a little bit deeper on a lot of the stuff that it presents, which I think the stuff that it presents is good. I just wish it would have gone a little deeper, which is why I lowered my rating a little bit.
But Sunshine Silhouette, pretty shots.
The pretty shots.
Pretty shots. I can put 4 screenshots of it up on Twitter and it looks like a masterpiece.
That's all you have to do. That's the only qualification for a good movie. If you can take 4 good-looking screenshots from the movie, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I know my 5-star is a bit generous to this because it is probably a 4.5-star movie realistically to me, because there are problems in it, but I think there are problems in almost every movie. There's only like one movie I can think of where it really, really, really is hard to think of any problems for.
I was about to say, even the guy who wrote that essay I mentioned earlier, he gave it an 8 out of 10 instead of like a 9 or a 10 or something.
Yeah.
Like that, which I think is just about right. I just really favor it because I really like
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing. Like, this is very, very up my alley in terms of movies, but I do really wish, like, if it would have stayed the entire time more contemplative, it honestly would be, like, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would love for it to spend more time on, like, the sun being God imagery, and, like, more time on the crew going kind of insane.
Yeah.
And more time, like, become more of a almost not psychological thriller, but focus on the psychological side of things more.
Psychological thriller.
A thriller that focuses on the psychological side of things.
Wow. All right, last question before we wrap things up, Micah. Unless you want to do another one after.
No, I'm done questioning.
What do you think of the haircuts in this movie?
Okay. So Mace pre-haircut is an L. Mace after haircut is a win. Kappa, kind of an L for Cillian Murphy. Look to Inception for his hair.
Wow.
And I have no problems with any other hair.
Bro, just want to say that the captain's haircut is like 10 of 10.
Okay, that's true. He was looking mighty fine in this movie.
Wow. Yikes, bro. I'm so glad they made Mace cut his hair. I was like, please don't make me look at Chris Evans with long hair this entire movie.
You know, I almost mentioned what's her face's character, but really there's not too much to talk about.
Rose Byrne?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there is some stuff to talk about there with her character being one of the last living, and her character kind of being
she's second build in the movie.
The humanity character.
Humanity.
But it's not really that interesting of a talking point.
Yeah, no. I mean, she's a good pair up with Kappa.
Yeah, for the ending anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say. But I don't know. There's not too much that I have to say about it.
Yeah,
so.
I think the dream stuff is interesting with her. I think that was the best thing they could have done with her character, because she did seem like to be the most quote-unquote sane character of any of them.
I know, right? But anyway, let's move on to our closing
thoughts.
Whoa. All right, Mike, if you had to sum up your thoughts on Sunshine 2007, what would you say?
If I had to sum up my thoughts on Sunshine 2007.
Oh my gosh, you don't have to wrap all that.
Man, what would I say? I would say this movie is extremely up my alley. I've always loved sci-fi, especially this kind of sci-fi. It's beautiful on more ways than one. I think the dialogue is very nice. It looks very nice. The music is very nice. I think the story to some extent...
It's a very nice movie.
I think the story to some extent could be qualified under my eyes as beautiful.
I would say so.
And it's really just it's a movie for me. I don't get why people don't like it, but it's very much like I'm kind of in love with it cinematically, because they do so much that I would never usually enjoy in a movie, and they do it so well. And
That is true.
And then they do so much that I would love in movies, and they do it so well. Like, just so much of just the sunshine elements of this movie, I'm just in love with. I like, it's literally no more could I want from a movie than a bunch of hugely oversaturated shots with silhouettes. I don't know. That's movies for me. That is pretty much my favorite shots, and There Will Be Blood too. Like,
I don't think there's a single oversaturated shot. Well, I guess near the end.
when I
suppose
when the oil thing's going off. The shots,
derrick, yeah.
The shots I can't find anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I could see that.
This is kind of a movie for me. I definitely am aware that it does have a couple problems here and there, but none of them are big enough for me to take, like maybe to take it down to a 4.5, but none of it are to take away my enjoyment of the movie.
Well, there you go. I called this in my Letterboxd review, I called it a visual masterpiece, which I keep assigning to random movies here and there. But it's just movies that I think you could watch with the sound off and still get almost all of the impact from. I think the visual storytelling in this is that good.
Yeah, there's great visual storytelling,
which is something we didn't really mention in the main review. But I think the editing, the visual stylization at times, even though it can be weird and kind of off-putting. I think it works perfectly for what the movie's going for in establishing its atmosphere and the threat level of stuff. It's great. I really adore, like Micah said, just how it looks. A lot of the screenplay I really like. I don't know. It's just a movie that I really love. Not quite my favorite sci-fi movie, though.
Yeah, I don't.
If you count The Matrix as sci-fi, then that's my favorite.
I'm not sure I'd qualify it as my favorite sci-fi, but it is definitely one of my favorite of that the Sad Boy Hours sci-fi movies.
Sad Boy space movies. Yeah, those are good.
Those are some good movies.
This might be my favorite space movie, but not my favorite sci-fi movie. 2001 I do like a lot, though.
I made a list.
I like Stanley Kubrick's 2001. Like, ever heard of it?
Boo. Boo.
I do like this more than Interstellar, though. Space movies go burr. Yeah. Sunshine at number 1, Interstellar number 2, First Man number 3, Ad Astra number 4, and The Martian at number 5. I would put The Martian above Ad Astra, but maybe that's just me. It's not as spacey as the other two.
Those top 3.
They are very good.
Fine movie, very fine movies.
Mighty fine.
Mighty fine movies.
But yeah, no, I guess that just about sums up how we feel about Sunshine. We really liked it. I definitely recommend it if you're old enough to watch R-rated movies. Go for it. Yeah, I don't know. Good stuff. It's on Hulu right now. If you check out the link in the description, you can find an updated page for where you can watch it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Do we wanna get into the final bits?
Yes, we do, Micah.
The what we watched.
The what we watched, if you will.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, the What We Watched segment is a fun little ending segment.
It's so fun and quirky,
It's
Micah.
so quirky. Where we talk about what we watched. Just like all that we've logged on recently on Letterboxd.
All that we've recently logged on Letterboxd.
All that we've recently logged on Letterboxd from since the last podcast.
That's so clever. How did they ever think of that?
As long as we don't go off for like 6 months or something.
Yeah. But anyway.
So we're starting at the 23rd because I watched something after we recorded the podcast.
Yes.
So the first thing I got is Pretend That You Love Me by Joel. I don't know how to say his last name, actually. Javier, maybe? I don't know.
Could be.
It's on YouTube. I mean, Joel, he's a YouTuber. He makes short films.
He's a YouTuber.
But this was a feature-length movie, and it's really, really good. I didn't know what to expect going into it.
It's really, really good.
And it's extremely indie, but it does this really cool thing that makes it to where the movie has to be what it is. Like there could not be a high-budget version of this movie.
Which is the perfect kind of film to produce on a budget.
Yeah, and it's so well done and like really emotional, and I mean I'm pretty sure he had actually just lost his dad, and I'm not sure how much of this movie is movie and how much of it is just stuff he filmed.
Yikes.
Which is kind of crazy coming from the movie. So yeah, I really, really loved it, and I gave it 5 stars.
Well, there you go. I can't wait to see it. It's been in my watch list for a few years now.
It came out last year.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Oh, I felt like Micah. My perception of time has completely slipped away since 2020 hit. I remember Houston mentioning it like a while ago.
There's stuff in it from like for pandemic stuff.
And then I put it in my watch list, and I said a couple years. It's been a couple years since 2020, guys.
I believe it, though. Let's be real. After that, we watched Sunshine. For the first time.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Then after that, on the 24th, I rewatched Zodiac. Still very much love it. I gave it 5 stars again.
We should do it on the podcast.
We should. Then on the 25th, I watched Ratatouille. I really loved it. Gave it 5 stars. It's my favorite movie, so...
Wow. Who would have thought that Mike is just handing out 5 stars like they're going out of style.
I'm passing them out. What did you watch, Herbie?
I didn't watch like anything. I logged a bunch of like Looney Tunes stuff that we watched while we were out of town. But I guess the next thing I watched was on the 26th. We rewatched Sunshine.
Yeah, for the first time.
Well, I mean, we rewatched it for the first time.
It for the first time.
And then that same day we watched. Well, I guess it was really like later that day.
Soderbergh.
Yeah, we watched a Soderbergh movie. My fourth Soderbergh movie. Contagion.
Whack movie.
It's Contagion. It's the prophecy.
I didn't. Yeah,
the prophecy is true.
Very weird coming off of 2020. I actually watched this for the first time during like lockdown.
I mean, a lot of people watched it for the first time during the lockdown.
Whack movie to watch then.
It's crazy how many things they got like right, as if they were trying to predict what would happen,
but just how many similarities to real life this has, but also how absolutely goofy this movie is.
Oh my gosh, this thing is bonkers. What the
I gave it 3 stars the first time I watched it because I had seen it before and I was like, is it good, is it not good?
I genuinely don't know if this is a good movie.
And then I turned it on again and I still have no idea if it's a good movie. Like, I know people like most people I know has given this 3 to 4 stars,
yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Genuinely don't know if this is a good movie or not. The filmmaking is pretty fun, and it's got a lot of like subtlety to it. I like it, but like at the same time, I really kind of hate the screenplay. So I don't know. I'm a little torn on it. It's my least favorite Soderbergh easily.
Yeah,
that I've seen so far.
Ocean's 12 was a bit whack, but
12 is weird, but at least it was better than this.
Yeah, I gave it 3 stars again.
Yeah, I gave it 1.5 initially, but I slowly like realized that a lot of its subtleties in its writing, and it's good. It's a fine movie. It's a fine movie.
It's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie.
I would not recommend it, but if you want to see a movie about a global pandemic,
go for
it, I guess.
Also on the 26th, I rewatched My Neighbor Totoro. I had been really in the mood to watch a Ghibli movie, and I had been really sad, and I watched this with my girlfriend.
You don't appreciate Totoro enough, Micah.
I do enough to enjoy it when I'm really sad. Wow. I'm watching it with my girlfriend.
You just need to up it to the 4.5 or 5, Mike.
No, I gave it 4 stars, and I will stand by my 4-star rating. I don't think Totoro is that perfect as everybody else seems to.
It's so good.
I think it's got some pacing problems. And it's just not for me.
I see.
But yeah, still very fun, still beautiful.
Seem to be the only person who doesn't get with the program.
4 stars.
Wow. That night, while Mike was watching Totoro, I watched Greener Grass, baby. Rewatched it, I should say. I think this was my 4th viewing of Greener Grass, which is weird because like it feels like such like a classic to me anyway now, because like I can quote almost the entire movie. It's my favorite comedy, according to me anyway. And I got to show it to someone who had never seen it before, and I think this might be like my favorite film to like introduce people to if they've never seen it before.
Robbie, that's a bad idea.
No, it's so, oh my gosh, it's so funny.
It's really good.
I highly recommend Greener Grass.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's definitely not for everyone. And make sure you check out what's in it before you just like flick it on because I told you to. It is. I think it would be rated. Yeah, it would be rated R.
Yeah, it would be rated
if it did get a rating. I don't think it's rated. So definitely check out the parent guide before you turn it on. As with any movie, I recommend. But it's my favorite comedy. It's a really, really layered commentary on suburbia and the loss of identity.
It's really
no, it is, dude. I swear, it blows my mind every time.
Anyway,
it's a great comedy. I gave it 10 out of 10.
There we go. On the 27th, we watched one of my favorite comedies of all time. One of my favorite Disney movies
Pretty
of all time.
Mid, bro. No,
shut up.
No, I'm kidding.
The Emperor's New Groove. No idea
it's
how
a classic.
No idea how it turned out being amazing.
By all accounts, it doesn't make much sense.
But from the director, from the stuff that happened in the production, how it was going to be a completely different movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they even had like a finished song for Yzma, like for how it was going to be a drama musical.
It's so whack, bro. It's such a funny comedy.
But it's hilarious. Like, it's actually hilarious. I don't know.
So many of the gags work so well.
I gave it 4.5 stars. There's not much plot, just because there isn't much plot.
I mean, the bits of Cusco's development throughout the movie are really satisfying to watch.
Cusco's got a really great character arc, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, so. and it's hilarious too. So it's literally just a really fun movie. If you need something to turn on, like just fun movie with friends, turn this on. It's hilarious. It's great. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Next, on the 28th, I watched Cruella for the first time.
Cruella!
It was Robbie rewatched it.
Yes, I had seen it in a theater beforehand. And seeing it at home was a little different, obviously, but, whatever.
It was weird. I wasn't a very big fan of Cruella.
It's weird, yeah.
I very much like Emma Stone, and I like Emma Stone as Cruella. But it doesn't really do anything that I want it to.
I very much like Emma Stone.
It doesn't really do anything that I want it to at all.
You just wanted it to be edgier, Micah.
Not even edgier. Like honestly, it could have committed to what it was doing better, and I would have liked it still.
Yeah,
I had a weird want for her to just like start murdering people, but that's just a weird like.
It dips its toe in a bunch of different like things, and it doesn't really commit to a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I can see what you're saying. It's kind of a wishy-washy film.
Yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge. Doesn't commit to anything. Wants to be cool, but also wants you to see where she's problematic or something. I don't know.
It's a weird movie.
Making like Jasper and Horace like real characters and being friends, and then having like the weird just like snap into complete character difference. I swear she has like split personality disorder or something.
Like wildlife, Mike.
That was a complete change of personality and the way she spoke immediately. It's just a very weird movie.
It is. It's really odd. It's a lot of fun though. I said in my review that I would die for Wink and Emma Stone.
I gave it 3 stars.
I also gave it 3 stars.
Then on the 28th,
6 out of 10, baby. 28th, yes.
I watched Millennium Actress. My first Satoshi Kon movie.
Micah, they make a modern day remake called Millennial Actress.
No. It was really, really good. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I guess I was expecting it to be really, really good, but it was like really, really good.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I'm expecting it to be really, really good.
I didn't give it 5 stars just because the story isn't inherently my favorite thing, but the layers of the filmmaking and like the editing, the direction, the performances, the writing, everything is freaking fantastic in this movie. I can't wait to watch like all of his work.
Yeah, no, he's a director that
This was the movie I was actually least interested in out of his entire filmography, and it was still really great.
What else has he done?
Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, Perfect Blue, and if you're talking Paranoia Agent, even though that's an anime.
I would honestly say Tokyo Godfathers is the one I'm least excited to see, but I don't know. It's just because its general premise isn't as exciting to me.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue, I cannot wait to get around to. And Paprika, I obviously
really
want to see.
Paprika is probably the one I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
If not Perfect Blue. But yeah. I give it 4.5. It was very edging towards 5.
Didn't you watch it with ads, though?
I did.
Ooh, disappointing.
But there was very few ads.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not so bad, I guess.
Then what else did we watch on the 28th?
We watched all 101 of the Dalmatians.
We were counting them. We were like 1, 2. I think that might be 2 more. There's 3.
They kept reusing background dogs. What's going on?
We didn't know what was happening, but we think there was 101 of them.
Yeah, no. 101 Dalmatians, the 60s one, not the live action one at all or anything.
Yeah, like inspired by our Cruella watch. Yeah. I wanted to watch the original because we hadn't watched it in like forever.
Bro, this movie's like... Okay, I will say... I think it kind of falls off in the second 2 acts, but the first act of this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
it's so much fun.
I think I vibed with this movie a lot more than I ever did as a child.
Yeah.
I ended up giving it 4 stars, which a lot of people I know have.
Yeah.
But it was very teetering towards 3.5 still.
I don't know. I've always had a problem with this movie, and it's the way it sets up its stakes and handles them in the third act. It just gets kind of boring because it never really raises them past a certain edge, and you're just like, okay, yeah, we get it. Cruella's gonna catch them. The end. Okay, let's get this moving here.
Pong,
Pong,
pong.
Yeah, the first like 20 minutes of this movie, I'm in love with. The everything after that, I'm like, yeah, it's charming. It looks great, obviously. The way they somehow give personalities to all of the puppies is crazy. To
Right,
me.
even like just starting with the 50. Obviously, they don't give personalities to
not
all 101.
but the first
15.
12. The first, I thought it was 12.
No, there's 15 of them.
15. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about how they're all distinct, and I thought there was only 12.
That's like 15, and then one almost dies, and they're like 14.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
they
yeah.
revive it, and they're like 15.
15. Yeah.
They're like 15 puppies. They say 15 so many times.
Okay,
in the
I'm
movie.
sorry, Mike. I'm just saying I'm a fan of a lot of things that are like have to do with this movie, and a lot of the comedic bits work really well. It's got a really fun like cast. I don't know. It's good stuff.
It's got that old animation aesthetic that I wish would come back in animation. The animation in this looks so nice.
Bro, imagine if Cruella, the live action one, was lit like this. There's like there's like blaring colored lights everywhere in this movie.
Then on the 29th,
I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
We watched Sunshine again.
Yeah.
As to prepare for today.
Watched it 3
and then later that night, we watched Vivo.
Vivo.
No,
that's Viva, Mike.
Las Vegas.
The Netflix original Lin-Manuel monkey musical.
I'll just say my thoughts on it real quick. I kind of hated almost everything about it, but the music and animation.
Whoa, hold up now.
Rebby, it kind of sucks. Its comedic timing is terrible. The plot's kind of
I don't
stupid.
think it sucks. I don't think the plot's stupid.
Why, Rebby?
Because I don't. What do you want from me?
The girl is annoying.
She is annoying. Yes, she's my least favorite part of this movie.
The plot is so weird, Rebby. Like
Is it weird?
The plot of getting the song to her is not bad.
I was about to say that's not.
But everything that
weird.
happens in between the lines.
Wow.
I hated the like almost every joke in this movie I hated, but I really hated the
I thought some of them were kind of fun.
The fake Girl Scout jokes were terrible.
The fake Girl Scout jokes I like in theory, but they don't really mesh that well.
Rebby, this movie has 0 comedic timing.
It's true, but its emotional core is actually pretty good, Mike.
I didn't get any emotion from it.
Wow.
The music was fine. It's very Lin-Manuel Miranda music.
Oh my gosh, it's painfully
It's just Lin-Manuel Miranda music. But it's fine. It's not his best musical, but it's not his worst musical.
What? It's not his worst, really?
I don't know. It's not his worst. It has. I say that in a way that I would say. I think I would qualify Moana's songs as I like less than these.
What? No way. Okay, you're like, this movie's garbage, and then you're like, oh, but at least it's better than Moana.
No, it's not better than Moana in any way. I just enjoy some of the songs more.
Wow. Okay.
What the heck? No, Moana is significantly better than this.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Apparently, I liked it a bit more than you did.
I gave it 2.5.
I gave it a 3. We only had a half-star difference, but apparently, I had a much more positive view of it. I thought it was great.
How?
Not great, like
what
as
was
a movie.
what was good about it?
The animation and music, obviously.
Yeah. What else?
But I really do like the emotional parallels that it draws on. Like that's the core of the movie, Micah.
But Ravi,
it's all about loss,
Mr. Miranda Monkey Man and Tiny Girl had no emotion for me. 0.
Mr. Miranda Monkey Man and his little fedora.
0 emotion from that character
how does
ever.
The fedora stay on his head? Although I guess it doesn't really stay on his head that well throughout the movie. What was up with this little fedora? I thought it was so cute.
Revy.
I just wish they had gotten someone other than Lin-Manuel Miranda to voice the monkey.
I mean, like Shafrillis always says, the worst part in every Lin-Manuel Miranda project is always Lin-Manuel Miranda, besides, like, his writing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know. I liked it. You can't make me not like it.
It's trash. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Vivo, I guess check it out if you really want to. It's a fine kids movie.
Here's something. My girlfriend's sister, who is like, I think she's 8 now, but
whoa, getting up there.
Maybe 7. I don't
Ancient.
remember. She turned on this movie and she wanted to turn it off because it's so boring.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I wasn't bored.
The audience that this was made for, the kids,
The children.
found it boring, Revy.
One singular
Because it
child
sucks.
found it boring, and Mike is like, the children are crying tears of boredom. They're laying their iPads down in the streets and stomping on them
But yeah, that's what we watched.
just to feel something.
That's what we watched.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Now that we're over an hour,
See you guys next week.
yeah, we'll see you next week. Who knows what we'll do.
We don't know what we don't know what we're doing.
Who knows what could happen?
Anything could happen.
Anything.
We
Stranger
could,
things
we
could happen.
Just not. We could end the podcast.
We
This
could-
could be the final.
this could be the last
You
episode.
never know.
Wow. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.